Hello and welcome to Stories from an Ugly Childhood. My name is Bonnie, otherwise known as the Crap Artist, and this is the overly scripted introduction to my second channel. At the time of this recording, I am a 49-year-old biologically intact human female living in a suburb on the east coast of the United States with my husband of 25 years and our army of little black cats. I earn my living by making art out of trash and selling it and other brightly colored nonsense at a flea market. I enjoy reading comic books and science fiction novels, and I spend a lot of time exploring religious, psychological, and philosophical concepts relating to the manipulation of an individual's perception of reality. I also have an abusive, malignant, narcissistic mother from whom I have chosen to estrange myself since 2020. The trauma I suffered at the hands of my mother and her men has affected every single aspect of my life, from relationships to dietary habits, and even what I do for a living. There is nothing about me that does not exist out of sheer opposition toward my mother and her ways. I can't even imagine what life would be like if I wasn't angry at her all the damn time. Ain't that pathetic? If I were to speak to a trauma-informed professional, they would point out that I was stuck in a cycle of rumination, anger, and grief, and I would agree and ask them to help me reach that sweet, sweet state of indifference. However, those sort of professionals are hard to come by and well out of my price range. So I'm left rummaging through the back alleys of the internet for free trauma recovery resources and used psychology books. That brings me to the purpose of this channel. I'm pretty sure it's Nietzsche who talked about learning how to embrace and be grateful for the lessons our suffering has to offer. Pain has the capacity to build character and the will to achieve greatness when it's directed properly, and this channel is part of that process for me. Think of it as something like a shadow journal or a video diary where I spend a bunch of time ragging on my mom and all her poor life choices, and then take a little more time to explore the long-term effects of the abuse and how or if I manage to make any of it into something worth the effort. Yeah, it's all a bit self-serving, I know it. However, I will defend myself by saying it's a pretty normal response after years of trauma and abuse to want to talk about it a hell of a lot. I ain't looking for pity or handouts. I just want to talk. And now for the mandatory stuff. Much of the subject matter I am covering is extremely dark. However, I will not be censoring myself. I believe using coded language and initialism leads to the minimalization of serious subjects that do, in fact, need to be spoken about out loud and in full. If you are not over 18 years of age, you should not be watching this channel. If you are an adult who is emotionally sensitive to stories of children in adult situations or violence and psychological abuse, then consider this your only warning. Leave now, because it only goes downhill from here. Lastly, I am in no way, shape, or form a properly educated professional anything. Everything I have to say is based around my own personal experience and observations. If you are an adult survivor of childhood abuse struggling with your mental health, please seek professional guidance or at least a trusted friend. I will link some useful pages in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.